So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Round number 1, Saturday Night Nitro. But before we start, as always, Matt Miller, Racers for Christ, chaplain for the West Coast Hot Rod Association, will lead you in the invocation. Matt?
Let's pray. Lord, I just want to thank you so much for letting us do this sport that we love so much. Lord, I just ask that you watch over all the racers as they go down the track. Keep them safe. Help them to hook up and go straight. And dear Lord, I ask that you watch over their crews as they work on the cars. And watch over everyone that's helping keep this track safe for the racers. And please protect us as spectators. And dear Lord, we'll give you all the glory. And we just pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Matt, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for our national anthem.
No, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sports fans, welcome to Auto Club Famoso Raceway, round number 1 of Saturday Night Nitro. My name is Mike Inglis. Steve LaBarber up in the tower here with me. Glad to have you all here, Matt and Julie. A spectacular night here in Bakersfield. It's the first pair. It'll be Dale Van Gundy, Keith Clark's quarter-pounder team machine out of Bellflower, and Jeff Utterback, the Dale Puldee War Eagle Trans Am. Truly one of the legendary Nitro funny cars over the years. Dale Puldee, who wheeled a number of cars. In fact, Dale Puldee got his driving career start at the wheel of Charlie Wilson's 67 Firebird funny car at the age of 17 years old. Dale's a little bit older than that now. Back home with girlfriend Valerie, back down in the San Fernando Valley. He couldn't be with us tonight. He saw Jeff Utterback behind the wheel of the War Eagle Trans Am. Dale Van Gundy, he and Keith Clark have been partners for the better part of 40 years with these legendary quarter-pounder funny cars, the alcohol ranks, and a bunch of other different deals with Van Gundy and Clark. So the 70 Challenger, Brad Anderson for power, for Dale Van Gundy and Keith Clark. That car has been in the 570s right here at Auto Club Famoso Raceway. First pair, round number 1, Saturday Night Nitro. You gotta love it. Keith Clark walks away from his driver. As Dale Van Gundy is pre-stage. Jeff Utterback, legendary surfer, is Utterback, and a darn good race car driver. Both drivers are pre-stage. They light the second light together. How about that, baby? Side by side, you gotta love it. Top end 606, 234 miles an hour. Man, I'll tell you, what a side-by-side race. 633, 174. As you saw the flames go out on the War Eagle car. But Dale Van Gundy and Keith Clark and the quarter-pounder team out of Anaheim, 606, 234 goes to the top. And I can tell you my personal opinion right now, 606-1 is not going to make the quick 8. So what a way to start off the night. That thing was just a thing of beauty. 6:06.1 for Keith Clark and Dale Van Gundy and the team out of Anaheim. Nice round of applause for both teams down in front of the grandstands there. Great job. Jeff Utterback, Dale Polde's War Eagle at 6:33, clicking it early at just 174 miles an hour. As the next pair get ready to go, we're going to send the teams down the track just to check it out. The sweeper and the team, Willie Stambaugh, the team at the top end, our race safety director is Willie at the top end, wants to make sure that this track is in tip-top shape. But it'll be Ryan Kono, Kazanjian, Lemon, and Kono. Sponsored by The Hat. You ever been to The Hat in Pasadena? Great pastrami sandwiches. Just excellent. And Bob Godfrey. In fact, Bob's daughter, Lindsay, in the house this weekend. Backup babe for her dad and his Camaro funny car. The Burnin' Money 69 Camaro. Brad Anderson for power in both these cars. Ryan out of Rosemead, the self-employed driver, in the Mustang for Tom and Cookie. And Bob Godfrey. Primer by Godfrey, as it's affectionately known, even though Bob, a world-class race car painter and just car painter in itself extraordinaire. Both these cars have dipped down into the fives. Currently, right now, you want to get into the quick eight? Well, that Dale Van Gundy at 6:06, and as I said, is my candid observation, I am not sure that a 6:06 will make the quick eight to come back to round number 2 to crown the Saturday Night Nitro champion. So a little bit of maintenance work at the top end of the track there, a little bit of stuff on the track, and it won't be long. Now, Ryan Kono, Ryan has got an interesting career. He always wanted to be a driver, but the High Speed Motorsports team car, the Top Fuel dragster that's won the national championship a number of times, Ryan also served as a crew member on that, and Ryan was an integral part of that team because before each round of eliminations, they would send Ryan up to the track, and he was like one of those guys, one of those, what do you want to call them, track reader, know-it-all guys or something like that. But when Ryan would go out on the track, he would take a look at it. A guy that's got experience driving could come back and tell Tom Shilar and Walt Stevens and the guys, here's what I would do on the clutch. And they'd set the clutch like that, and obviously it worked pretty well. Well, Cookie Kazanjian and Tom Lemon put this car together with Ryan, and Ryan says, well, guys, I can't work on your Top Fuel car anymore because I'm going to be a driver. So the Ford Mustang, 73 Mustang, Brad Anderson for power for Ryan, and Bob Godfrey. Also another one of the Brad Anderson powered cars. It's all the Brad Anderson components sitting in the frame rails of the Camaro that will be up in the Auto Club lane. How about out on the starting line there in the red shirt, the big guy? That's my fellow announcer, Steve LaBarber, out there. Took his dad out there. His dad said, one of the things I wanted to do on the bucket list was I wanted to stand between two Nitro funny cars on the starting line. And Steve says, come on up to Auto Club Famoso Raceway Saturday Night Nitro, and we're going to take you out there, Dad. So, again, as you look down track there, is Jerry Cumry up in the tower here. Don't forget, later on, after this first round of funny cars, it's going to be a fuel matchup. That's right. It's going to be a pretty cool deal. The Racing Dentist, Ken Bates, Jerry Cumry, Lee Davidson, and a number of different cars here. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a great deal here at Auto Club Famoso Raceway, the Nostalgia A Fuel Challenge. It's going to be a good deal. So all kinds of cool stuff here. A couple Top Fuel dragsters, fuel altereds, and jet cars. That's right. Have you ever... Hey, by the way, let's have, by a show of hands in the grandstands here, how many of you have never seen a jet car run here at Auto Club Famoso Raceway? Just one? That means you've all been here before, and we appreciate that. You come back for a great Saturday night Nitro show, but we're going to close out round number 1 of the Nitro cars with side-by-side jet dragsters. So the sweeper's back from the top end, and that is a good thing as you look down track, and, oh, I don't see anybody out there. That's a good thing. Our race director in front of the tower here, Alan Miller, directing these crews. Alan looks like a band leader as he orchestrates these things and get them together there. Keeps this show moving right along with a good job. Appreciate a former fuel-altered driver. Of course, that's what it takes to run one of these shows because, believe me, it's not an easy job. So Ryan Kono for the Hat Restaurant, Pasadena, right off the 210 freeway. And Bob Godfrey, Kazanjian, Lemon, and Kono, Ford Mustang, Cookie Kazanjian, and Tom Lemon and Ryan Kono teaming up along with Bob Godfrey. Bob Godfrey, daughter Lindsay in the house here this weekend. Hasn't been to the races in a couple years as Lindsay's been in Arizona studying to be a dentist. Lindsay going down the track in the Auto Club lane after her dad. As Ryan Kono does his burnout in the Budweiser lane. Lindsay's probably looking at her dad going, what'd you do so long burnout for? Hey, I'm out in front of the grandstands here. Jeff Utterback, Dale Poldy's War Eagle Trans Am, 633. It's just 177 miles an hour. Clicking it off early for Utterback, the surfer. Nice round of applause for that team. Also coming down there, Dale Van Gundy and Keith Clark's quarter pounder. See him making the move in front of the grandstands here at Auto Club Famoso Raceway. 6:06, and that might, I don't know, I'm not sure a 6-second run is going to hold up to get into the quick 8 to qualify for round number 2. It's Saturday Night Nitro. So Bob Godfrey and Ryan Kono. Godfrey is pre-stage, Kono's in. Here we go. Top end. How about that? Race number 2, top end Ryan Kono. 6'10", 225 miles an hour. Ryan Kono, 106 and 60 foot time, 4:01, 192. Bob Godfrey was 4 flat at 184 at half track, but 6:14, 211 for Godfrey as he rolled out of the throttle to top end. Ryan, 6'10", 225. That will be your number 2 and 3 qualifiers as the quick 8 cars come back in a spectacular side-by-side race there. I'll tell you, what a great show. It's Saturday Night Nitro. It's side-by-side Nitro buttered funny cars. How about a nice round of applause for Keith Clark and Dale Van Gundy, the quarter pounder team, currently sitting atop the heat at 6:06. A great team out of Anaheim is Dwayne Patton, and I'll tell you, a guy who has absolutely dominated Saturday Night Nitro with a win and a runner-up, Zane Messenger out of Pomona. The Future Flash Pontiac Trans Am will come up in the Budweiser lane, the Auto Club lane. Dwayne Patton, the high-voltage 69 Camaro for the team out of Visalia. The first ever Saturday Night Nitro race back in April here at Auto Club Famoso Raceway. The Future Flash Trans Am stood in the winner's circle. Dwayne Patton earlier today, a checkout run at 6:33, clicking it early at just 195 miles an hour. So the 69 Camaro for the team out of Visalia, a high-voltage Camaro for Giant Chevrolet. Dwayne Patton comes back in the Auto Club lane, the Budweiser lane. Absolutely dominating car with a win at race number 1 and a runner-up at race number 2, Zane Messenger. And I'll tell you, Zane, a relatively short driving career, and that's pretty good on your resume to start things off there. Starter Bill Condit comes over to Zane and gives him the signal that there was a problem with Dwayne Patton's car, and they shut it off. So prime time Zane Messenger, a single run in the Future Flash Trans Am. And you say, well, that's great. That might put him in round number 2. Absolutely not. He's got to go for low elapsed time. Check out the Trans Am top end. Zane, how about that? 6:01 at only 215 miles an hour. 388, 192 at half track for Zane. 6:01, 215. And Zane Messenger goes to the top in Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car. My girlfriend Mindy, my better half up here in the tower, had one word to say. Wow. When you go 6:01 at 215, gives you an idea. That car was 192 miles an hour at half track, and then only goes 215 at the top end. Normally that would have been 240, 245, but Zane says, whoop, this is on a good one. We're going to click it off here. Unfortunately, Dwayne Patton and the team out of Visalia having to shut off with problems in the Auto Club lane, but Zane goes to the top, which actually, if you've been to the 2 previous Saturday Night Nitro races here this year at Auto Club Famoso Raceway, seeing that Future Flash car at the top is no surprise. Nice round of applause for that team in front of the grandstands. Great job for the guys. Gary Messenger and the guys out of Pomona. Absolutely outstanding. Is the next pair. How about Mike Halstead? James Hartley's Scared Straight Ford Mustang. And James Day, Gary Turner's Nitro Funny Car, GT Bikes, the former Gary Turner, the former owner of GT Bikes. So burnouts for both drivers. Halstead, one of these guys that is just one of these drivers that does it all. He builds them, he drives them, he tunes them, he does everything on these cars. A very versatile driver. His wife Tracy out on the starting line there. The kids are in the house this weekend. In fact, all his kids in the Halstead family race Judy dragsters. So Mike Halstead with James Hartley, Scared Straight Mustang. James, the warden at the prison over in Arbor. There the name Scared Straight. There's Tracy out in front of her husband. There's a backup babe if I've ever seen one, Tracy Halstead. And James Day. James, who drove the Peddler Funny Car to the winner's circle here at Saturday Night Nitro 2 months ago over the Future Flash car of Zane Messenger. Zane had that red light start. So John Wirtz, the crew chief on the Peddler car, looks over at Mike Halstead's car. Did somebody shut off there? I believe Mike Halstead's car shut off as he came back across the starting line. Nope, he's still running. I'm sorry, I lied. Won't be the first time that thing happens tonight. So here we go. The competition debut of Mike Halstead at the wheel of James Hartley Scared Straight Mustang and James Day. The Geico caveman Dave Glass walks away from the Peddler. They are ready. Watch that Peddler top end. Look at that, baby. How about that scoreboard? 599. 240 miles an hour for James Day, and he goes to the top. James at half track was 396, 190. Mike Halstead, a good lead, and then 415, 174. Mike clicking it off early. James Hartley's car at 641, 212. But the Peddler goes to where Gary Turner says it belongs, in the number 1 spot at 599. 240 miles an hour for top speed and low elapsed time of the event. As we continue on with round number 1 of Saturday Night Nitro here at Auto Club Famoso Raceway, as we see the first 5-second run of the evening. Man, you just got to love this. Is this not spectacular or what? Are you guys all having fun? This baby's awesome. I love this. Thank you very much for coming. I know there's a lot of things you can do here in the Kern County and the Valley here on the Central California, but we appreciate you coming out and spending your entertainment dollar here at Auto Club Famoso Raceway for Saturday Night Nitro in a big-time matchup here. It'll be Jason Rupert, now back behind the wheel of the Mert Littlefield Lucas Oil Products, Phoenix Industries, national championship winning funny car. He will be in the Budweiser lane, the Auto Club lane, Dennis LeChartier. Dennis, the back in black GTO. The crew chief, Corey Lee. Jason Rupert, the car has been unstoppable. His dad, Frank Rupert, in the house, along with mom, Brenda. His dad, former partner, Richard Bays, which, by the way, the Bays and Rupert car will return. That's right. I was down in their pit area. They've got some pictures of it. They're building another 69 Camaro. There'll be his tribute to his dad, Frank, and his partner, Richard Bays, and it'll be the Bays and Rupert car. So Jason Rupert, your reigning national champion, the Mert Littlefield tribute car, comes into the stage beams in the Budweiser lane. And Dennis LeChartier, back in black. Corey Lee, crew chief and darn good driver himself, gives his driver the thumbs up. Do not be surprised if we have a new number one qualifier out of this pair. How about that GTO? Check that out. Say hello to your new number one qualifier. How about the back in black GTO? 596, 234 miles an hour. Dennis LeChartier goes to the top. 596, 234. Both cars 191 miles an hour at half track. But Jason at 605, 239 is still part of the quick 8. But Jason was probably spinning the tires at half track there, as he was only 403 to Dennis's 391. Dennis, 0.997 in 60-foot time, and I think Corey Lee's got a handle on that baby, as both drivers just spectacular side-by-side races there. By the way, Jason Rupert moves into the number 4 spot, and right now in that 8 spot is the surfer dude, Jeff Butterback, and Dale Poldy's War Eagle at 6:33.6. 2 cars into the 5s, and spectacular, man, can't believe this, spectacular side-by-side runs is Dan Horan Jr. The Dan's Electric Service, 65 Ford Mustang, legendary crew chief and tuner Ronnie Swearinger tuning the wrenches on that Ford Mustang in the Budweiser lane that's dipped down into the 580s on a number of occasions. In the other lane, coming up, will be Jack Wright, the Joker. Jack, the team out of Oakhurst, the Challenger funny car, wife Michelle, wait for her husband to back up. Last August, a year ago, Jack Wright went to the money round. We're at Saturday Night Nitro, the first ever Saturday Night Nitro. Michelle out front, bringing her husband back. The team out of Oakhurst, Dan Horan Jr. Crew chief Ronnie Swearinger standing on the starting line, waiting for his driver to come back in the Budweiser lane. How about a nice round of applause for Bob Godfrey, the Burnin' Money Camaro. Bob currently sitting in the 7th spot at 6:14.3, right in front of the grandstands here. The K&M Filters team car. So Jack Wright, Dan Horan Jr., Ronnie Swearinger looks over at Jack Wright's car. Reaches over. One last-minute adjustment on his car. And Ronnie walks away. Cool, calm, collective, Ronnie Swearinger. Jack Wright, the Joker, for Ken's Automotive and the team in Oakhurst. Reaction time, Jack Wright. How about that, baby? Top end. Wow, check that out. Dan Horan Jr. low elapsed time of the event by a bunch. 5:82, 235 miles an hour for Horan Jr. How about 202 miles an hour? Man, as Ronnie Swearingen got a handle on that Mustang. 385, 282. And I'm telling you, from my vantage point in the tower here, I would say this Dan Horan Jr. may have clicked that baby early. 582, 235. He was one flat and 60-foot time, 202 miles an hour at half track. Jack Wright was 108, 60-foot time, 419, 180, 638, 218 miles an hour for the team out of Oakers. But that black SUV going in front of the grandstands, Ronnie Swearingen and the team, nice round of applause for them at 582, 235, goes to the top. So the next pair fire up. Now remember, the Hot for Teacher funny car, Alex Mizdanovich, promised us a finish line burnout with the Ford Mustang. Is Dennis Taylor, evil, wicked, mean, and nasty. So let's see what Alex does for a burnout. Uh-oh. We got to run him out of here now. Alex told us he was going to the finish line. I don't know how to tell him, but that ain't the finish line. So Alex Mizdanovich, Hot for Teacher, Ford Mustang, and Dennis Taylor. The Accelerated Motorsports, Taylor, Safety Equipment, Team Car, evil, wicked, mean, and nasty. And as I told you in pre-race, Dennis, his father passed away, Forrest Taylor, a week ago, and Dennis is racing with a heavy heart tonight. But I talked to him on the phone, and I talked to him in the pits here this weekend, and he said, I'm coming up here to run for my dad. Crew Chief Bob Brooks, they've had a bunch of piston problems with this car, and they seem to have fixed him as he made a checkout pass yesterday to 1,000 foot, pulled the motor apart, absolutely nothing wrong. So DT and the team out of Anaheim. Alan Johnson Performance Power under the Mustang body for Dennis Taylor. Keith Black for power for Alex, the Hot for Teacher Mustang in the Budweiser lane. Alex is pre-stage, waiting on Dennis Taylor. They're both pre-stage. They bring her up on the high side. So they bump it in to light the second light. Alex is in. Dennis is in. Here we go. Both Mustangs, good run. How about that, baby? Check it out. Alex, 628, 224 miles an hour. Goes to the number 9 spot. No help there. Dennis Taylor, 637, 229. Alex, 105 and 60-foot time. Dennis stepped on a little bit. 110 and 60-foot time. Dennis was 422, 180 at half track. Alex, 412, 180 at half track. And 628 for Alex. Top end, 224, 637, 229 for Dennis Taylor. As both of them are sneaking up on those 5-second runs. Right now, the bump spot for the quick 8 to go to round number 2 is Bob Godfrey at 6:14.3, 211 miles an hour. Nice round of applause for both teams there. Great side-by-side runs at Alex at 6:28, Dennis Taylor at a 6:37. There's Mike Halstead, James Hartley, Scared Straight Mustang team car in front of the grandstands there. Nice round of applause for your team. Great show there. Mike's in at a 6:41. Unfortunately, not going to be part of that Quick 8 program tonight, but still a lot of learning curve going on in this car here is Ed Duggan and Rick Rogers. Smokey Alderman's team car out of Atascadero, the Dark Side 79 Dodge Challenger for Rick Rogers and Ed Duggan, the Fighting Irish Camaro of Charlie O'Neill. So the final pair in round number 1 to get into the Quick 8. Ed Duggan made a pass earlier today. was absolutely spectacular in the early numbers down track, and then he clicked it off early with a Fighting Irish Camaro for Charlie O'Neill in the Budweiser lane. Rick Rogers, the charter member of the 250-mile-an-hour Top Fuel Club, has been in the 580s with Smokey's Challenger, the team car in the Auto Club lane. He made an earlier pass and spun the tires. Now this will be the final pair. Then we're going to have a number of driver's license cars. Don't forget the A Fuel matchup, Top Fuel cars, AA Fuel altereds, and the Jet cars to wrap it up. Round number 1. So the Fighting Irish Camaro for Ed Duggan and the team, who have been plagued with problems throughout the year, but they have got this baby on kill tonight. As both drivers are pre-stakes. Check out Rogers' top end. How about that? 603, 231 miles an hour. Rick Rogers goes into the number 5 spot. Ed Duggan missed it by 0.03 of a second. Ryan Kono will be part of the quick 8, and here we go. Our quick 8 for round number 2. Ryan Kono, 6'10", will be number 8. Your number 7 qualifier, Dale Van Gundy, the quarter pounder. Your number 6 qualifier, your reigning national champion, Jason Rupert. Your number 5 qualifier, that Rick Rogers with that 603, 231. Number 4 qualifier, prime time Zane Messenger. Your number 3 qualifier, oh, one more car. We forgot about Donnie Watkins. See, I go and tell you all that stuff, and right away, Blake Bowser, our manager here at Auto Club Famoso Raceway, comes over and says, wait a minute, I got Donnie Watkins coming up.